Hi, this is Vicki with My Paper Connection. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and we're going to do a really fun project today. It's Georgia. I live in Georgia, and it's finally gotten cold enough to wear sweaters. Yay! And so I wanted to do a project that involved snowmen because the chances of me ever getting snowmen in Middle Georgia is like none. But this is a really fun project and it's easy, and you can decorate it so easily just by punching out the snowman in the designer series paper. I'm going to use Snowman Season and the coordinating paper that goes with it. So without further ado, let's get started. Did I tell you that my project is going to be a chapstick holder? Well, that's what it's going to do. And I found I was actually taught how to do this by a sweet friend in our team named Jenny. So basically what you're going to do, you have a piece of paper that's 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and all of the measurements, everything will be listed, measurement supplies, everything will be listed in my blog. So be sure and check that out. But I'm going to score it at 1/2 here. Then I'm going to score it at 1. And then I'm going to go to 1 3/4, 2 1/2, 3 1/4, and 3 3/4. So then I'm going to rotate it, and I'm going to do it at 3/4 and 3 1/2. Okay, so let me get this out of the way because this is all of the scoring that we're going to do. Okay, now I'm going to bring my bone folder in. There's a couple of sides to this. Isn't that pretty? I'm not sure which one I want to use. I think I'm going to use this side though, because you'll see in a minute that otherwise it will probably end up having upside down snow people, and we don't want that. So I'm just gonna go along and burnish it. Then I'm going to take my paper snips, and I'm going to where you only have the 2 score lines here, you're going to go up to here, and you're just going to trim that off. And you're going to do that on all 4 sides. After you've done that, then you're just going to go up and trim each one of these little flaps. There you go. And then you're going to bring in the detailed trio punch, and you're going to kind of guesstimate where the center of this is, right in here, because you need something to put a hole through it. And tell you what, it's not going to go well that way, so I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to try to be consistent with it, so hopefully it doesn't shake. Okay, hey, I did pretty well. Almost perfect, not quite, but almost. Close enough. Okay, so now you're going to bring in the tear-in tape, and you're just going to start putting it together. And I find that the best way to do it is to bring it in together, bring these flaps in like that on both sides, and then you're just going to put tear-in tape on here. So let's just do that first. I'll tell you about my experience with snow. It was back in 1976, I think, and I'm going to put a lot of it on here, or a couple pieces actually. Let me do it with my right hand because I'm right-handed. Anyway, back in 1976, I was in high school. I guess I was a junior, and my cousins were with me from Florida, and my uncle was actually German, and he was up all night because he heard we were going to have snow. And sure enough, we woke up the next morning, and there was, I think, something like 3 inches of snow in South Georgia. Nobody could drive, and the school was called off for a couple days. But I had a blast. I'd never seen snow before, and my cousins and I got out and we played in the snow until I was almost frostbitten. It was so, so fun. Since then, I've lived in Missouri. You know what? I think I need to put one on here too so that it stays. It's been a while since I've made these. My friend and I made them for Bunko. I make a lot of things for Bunko. Here we go. We made 12 of them, I think, for Bunko. But anyway, I had a blast in snow. Since then, I've lived in St. Louis, Missouri for 17 years, and I moved there December of 1982, January of 1982. I had a 5-week-old and a 2-year-old, and we went to bed one night. We'd been there for about a week and a half. We went to bed one night, and we got up the next morning, and there was 24 inches of snow. Okay, now what I'm doing is I took that piece that I just put the, let me do it this way so you can actually see what I'm doing. Good grief, y'all. Nothing seems to be happening right here. Okay. Tear and tape. I never have this much trouble with tear and tape. Okay. So, just going to take that and then put this down on top of it. Right here like that. Fumbly fingers, man. Okay, so I've already adhered this side. So that piece that I put it on right there, I'm just going to tuck it in right, excuse me, right in here. Like that. And if they don't end up being just perfectly lined up, you can actually do a little trimming and it won't hurt anything. Just kind of clean it up just a little bit. That happens sometimes because paper folded on top of paper will do that. Okay, you can also use Tombow glue for it. All right, so now you're just going to tuck that in here and fold it backwards. And I should have told you that whenever I was burnishing. Tuck it in and fold it backwards. You're going to put your little chapstick in there. Now I got to get my ribbon. So I'm going to use the curly ribbon. And I'm going to cut off a piece about like this. And I'm just going to put it together like this, and then I'm just going to feed it through the little eye and then just pull that through the loop. Okay, so that's got that. Now if I had made this the other way, if you make it with a pattern, you have to make sure that your pattern is not going to be upside down or sideways. I didn't want to deal with that this time around, so I just used the snowflake look. Okay, this is some of the designer series paper, and you can see there's red, it's a red background with snowflakes on the back. They have these beautiful little snowmen, and when Dorothy and I made these for our Bunko people, we actually stamped them, colored them, not these, but we stamped them using the stamp set, colored them, and put them on. I'm just going to punch that out of the paper because it fits perfectly, and I love that it fits perfectly. Although I kind of scooted over. I'm just going to trim that little extra, and you can do that if you see that you got out of line a little bit. Just trim that off. It's not a big deal. Okay. All right, so now I'm just going to bring in some black, and I'm just going to cut out a hat. Let me give you a little word of warning though. Make sure that you don't have your fingers near the back or the front, or you'll get yourself a little blood blister. Oops, that was not a good hat. Hold on. I slipped right at the last minute. There we go. That's a good hat. Okay. So now I'm just going to place a little bit of glue across the bill of this hat and put him on my snowman. And Tombow is a good one to use on this because of him being sparkly. It'll take a second for it to stick. So Tombow is a good glue to use. So then I'm going to take a piece of paper, scrap piece of paper, and I'm going to stamp "Let It Snow." And I'm just going to cut out around that. Kind of like bubble letters. I don't know if you were a kid, everybody was a kid, but when you were a kid, if you ever wrote letters and then did bubbles around them, I used to do that all the time. I actually did it during church when I wasn't sitting with my mom. Isn't that terrible? It probably wouldn't surprise you if you watched very many of my videos because I'm so ADD, I have a little trouble paying attention. Okay, now we're just going to put it all together. So we're going to put a couple of dimensionals on the back of "Let It Snow." And we're going to put a dimensional across the base of our snowman. Let's see, I might put one more right there, just so we make sure he stays really nicely. Actually, let's do it this way. Sometimes you can't peel them up, but I am being successful at it this time. Let's put them side by side because it's going to show otherwise. So we'll just stick him right there, and we'll stick our little "Let It Snow" right next to him. And I'm going to get an embellishment to go on his hat, and we'll be done with this cute project. Okay, the very last thing I'm going to do is just take one of the red rhinestones. I'm just going to put him right over here on his hat, like that. Isn't that a cute project, though? It's so easy to make, as you could see. And I want to thank my friend Jenny for teaching me how to do it. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you will make some of your own. You could do it with any design, paper or whatever. I just thought the snowman would be really cute, just kind of standing up there. So if you like this video, I would love for you to hit subscribe and ring the bell so you can get notice. All of the dimensions, all the supplies, everything that you'll need to see will be on my blog. And just check that out at mypaperconnection.com. And so I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching.